Bev's Video Kingdom is intended for a mature audience. Listener discretion is advised.
I can brag your favorite podcast. Let's start this thing. Woo!
I just want to open this episode by saying that if we were a crime syndicate, it's clear that I would be the boss. So you guys can start referring to me as Don Nate.
So me being the champ, the returning champ doesn't put me in any boss.
Yeah, you're like a key player on my team. You're like maybe you could be like my enforcer, but I'm the Don.
Well, I just want to disagree with Nick. It's a new year, so we are all equals at this point. We all have 0 wins.
First draft
in 2022.
I just have a belt holding up my pants.
Can we explore this though? I think I'm cool with Nate being the boss. Actually, makes level-headed decisions. I like that. I want to be. There's always like a silly dude that's like kind of a clown, kind of a gaboosh, and he always ends up getting his ass beat or killed at some point because he says something stupid. Yeah, he's a gabagool. That's who I want to be.
I feel like the dude that's making the food usually lives in a lot of the...
So you're going to be the chef?
I want to be the guy that's cooking stuff. Because a lot of times you survive when you're cooking.
Well,
I guess I'm the hitman then. I guess I'm...
Cold-blooded.
Kind of look like a hitman.
We'll be the only Italian mafia movie crew that... the chef makes birria tacos.
All right.
Delicious birria tacos.
So in case you haven't figured this out, this is Bev's Video Kingdom, and you have stumbled into the middle of a conversation at the beginning of our second episode of 2022, but importantly, our first draft. That's why Nick's already talking shit. So we've decided that we are wiping the slate clean, that season 1
begins today.
Begins. I mean,
yes.
So Nick won the preseason.
So we are wiping it clean, but season 1. Nick was
season 1 today.
No.
Preseason champ was Nick.
There's only a half a season, so you don't get any points.
I'm the inaugural season champion.
It's fine if you want to be the COVID asterisk champion. That's cool.
I will always be the inaugural season champion.
You're
so
like
the first year-long competition starts today.
So if you missed it, we talked on our Tuesday episode about The Godfather, which is widely considered to be one of if not the greatest movie of all time, and we had on that episode Rob Schafer, who is the main editor for Francis Ford Coppola's company. He's done the re-edits on a bunch of stuff. If you have not listened to that pod and his commentary and discussion with us on The Godfather, you got to go back and listen. It's unbelievable.
Super interesting, super cool guy. Go back and listen.
And since he was so awesome, he's coming back. So he's coming on as our guest judge for the draft today, which is the most memorable crime bosses in movie history. Now, lest you start only running through the mob, organized crime is a wide-reaching thing. I just want to.
There's going to be some arguments tonight, no doubt about it.
I really struggled because I thought of a lot, and then I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, I guess that would work. Like, that's totally like a crime boss. But
you definitely cannot draft Kevin from Home Alone. Oh, actually, no, you can't. That's fine.
Kevin.
Anyway, so Rob is coming back with us today. We're going to talk to him. He's going to judge us, as is the custom of our guests on the draft pods. But we're also going to pick his brain a little. We stayed a little closer to The Godfather, but we're going to we're going to take off the reins a little and talk to him about editing, about how he got in the business, about movies in general. So you don't want to miss that. So hang around. So stick for the draft, hang for the discussion, and then. Find out who Rob thinks sucks the most, which, spoiler alert, it's all of us, but one of us
spoiler alert, it's been Nate the past couple of weeks.
It's been rough. I don't do well with anybody but Scotch Beck, who is my, he's my soul brother. So
long December.
Okay, so we are on to most memorable crime bosses, and I think we ought to get right to it here because I'm feeling like I stretched and I did some burpees and stuff, so I'm warm and I'm ready. And it's go time. We are, though, back in the speaking of warm, we are back in the outdoor Bev studio, so you'll hear the train. Can you hear that?
It's no
here it
longer the
comes.
Christmas train.
It's the Polar
Back
Express.
to the regular train.
No, we got the regular old Santa Fe Express here, but I can tell you that it is about 40 degrees out here, and if not for the heaters, we'd be freezing.
It's a
our balls
balmy
off.
56 degrees thanks to the heaters.
I'm very cozy. I don't know about you guys.
I'm
but
great.
Good.
Good. All right, Brad, could you hit us with a draft order, please?
Yeah, in my stocking from Christmas, I got a Magic 8-ball. And so I got that Magic 8-ball
Such a
out.
good stuff.
I shook it immediately, and I was just like, Magic 8-ball.
This is drugs.
What is
Why doesn't this
draft
cocaine tell me
order?
anything?
What is the draft order for the first pod of 2022? And when I turned it over, it didn't say like ask again later. It didn't say yes. It didn't say anything like that. It said first pick, Zach.
Oh, baby. I think this is a predictor for the end of the season.
Maybe the
standings,
hottest
but-
drafter ending last season. And then number 2, the preseason champ, Nick.
Hey, that's a good preseason win.
The not hottest drafter.
And then next.
That says a lot about our podcast, too. That was an entire preseason. We needed that long. We needed a 35-episode preseason to get good and rolling. No.
Hey, man, it's only a 35 episode sample size, dude. Anything can happen.
And then next, we've got Nate,
I'll take the 3 spot.
which puts me in 4. So
Oh.
the Magic 8-ball actually went in age order.
Oh, that's rough.
Youngest
'Cause I'm the
to oldest.
youngest.
It's going to be an uphill battle.
Just like I choose most of the things when we're playing games at my house, youngest to oldest.
Happy New Year, by the way, everybody. Have we
Happy
said
New
Happy
Year.
New Year, everybody?
No, Happy New Year. Well, we said it. We
What
said
day
it on
is it?
Tuesday,
What
but
day
it's
is it
still
today?
Happy New Year.
It's the 7th or some shit.
No, it's Tuesday the 6th, I believe.
Okay.
It's Thursday the 6th. When if you're listening to this on the day it came out, but you may also be listening to it like on, I don't know, November 12th,
25?
25, and that's fine too.
And thanks for finding us.
Hey, just as a time capsule, Zach, since we said youngest old, how old are you, Zach? Are you like,
I'm 38 years old.
and Nikki, you're 39.
9.
God, you're old.
Nick's old as hell.
I mean, and Brad and I are both, are we 42 yet?
Yeah, we're both
God,
at
that's old.
Douglas Adams special, 42.
I don't know what that means.
Jackie Robinson, bud.
Okay.
It's a little before our time.
I'll let all the true... I'm not even going to say it. I'm not going to describe it. I'll just let the true fans know what's up.
All right.
I can't wait to listen to this in 2025, and we'll be like, man, remember when I was
We were so
38?
young.
Yeah. Remember when
God,
Nick
we
was
were
a
young.
year older than me? We were in the same grade.
Hey, Scotch Beck, are you 70?
Oh, yeah.
We're going to have Grandpa Beck back on
Gotcha.
soon. We miss Grandpa Beck.
Grampy Beck.
He's on next week, I believe. No.
Yes.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Scotty's back on next week. And in fact, I believe there's a rumor going around that we're going to be recording that in Bosco's Cantina, which is the den of the Scotch Beck.
We may not get out of there.
It's completely
never
modeled
know.
after the Star Wars cantina. Like, exactly like it.
All right, Zach, what do you got? You struggled. I want to hear what you think the one of one is. It's probably the easiest pick.
Okay, so you're saying crime bosses. I'm going to stick pretty close to the mob, kind of deal here. And I struggled because I wanted to pick Al Pacino, but I think I'm going to go with Al Pacino in Scarface.
Al Pacino's an actor.
And I'm going to go with Tony Montana in Scarface.
Tony Montana.
You got to say it like you have peanut butter in your mouth.
Say hello to my little friend.
I just had all surgery.
I do believe that's his second number 1 pick, Tony Montana.
Hey,
Second time he's been picked first overall.
So he was on the Go Pod, which was number 4. He was the most memorable draft.
I picked him number
drug
1
dealer, right?
for. I picked him for talking shit before you kill somebody.
Yeah.
In
Oh,
Scarface.
wait, this is his third.
Wait, I'm sorry. Was he number 1 in that?
I don't know if he was number 1. He was my number 1 pick. Was he number 1? I think. Say hello to
think
my
he
little
went
friend.
1 or
Yeah.
2
I think he was number
for-
1. I think I picked him number
Yeah.
1.
I think he's got 3 number 1.
Or a drug dealer.
Three
might
number
have
1
been.
picks.
Tony Montana just killing. He's auto answer.
BVK legend.
I think that speaks to our ages.
We should probably see if Al Pacino wants to come on, just since he's been that. He probably will.
That's true.
He's probably heard all the episodes.
You think you I guess we've already met him. I was going to ask if you think that our guest has met him. We should. I didn't ask him that.
Well, we should ask him today.
I'm going to edit that back in. This is like the movie Looper. Timeline's all skewed.
All right, Nikki.
All right. I'm going I'm going Marlon Brando as Vito Corleone.
Okay, so I
Godfather
struggled
1.
with that because I mean he is like his like delivery and the droopy face thing.
It's Marlon Brando. He had Kleenex in his jaws to make himself look like a bulldog. He's
clear one.
He is. You know, I'll make him an offer he can't refuse. Like that's the God. He is the Godfather. And
He's the OG. I mean, I don't.
Got to be him.
I don't see how
It can't be Michael first. So,
it can't be.
No,
but you know what? It
but
can.
it can be Michael second.
But you know, it can be. It can be Michael
third pick.
Third.
And with my third pick, I'm going to take Michael Corleone from Godfathers 1, 2, and 3/Coda.
And Pacino's in the third one too.
Oh
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. It's all about him trying to get the family to get straight.
Legitimate.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It opens with it being legitimate, and then quickly.
Is
back into
his
the
wife in the third one too? She make it that far?
They
Let's
don't.
not do spoilers.
Oh, sorry
Come
guys.
on.
I haven't seen the second one.
I haven't
yet.
seen it either.
Oh, okay.
As we discussed.
Wait, have you seen? You said you have not seen the second.
No, I haven't seen the
I
second or
watched-
the
I
third.
watched
I
the
mean, I
third.
watched the first one for the
watched
first time for this.
Jumped
pod.
over two. Watch the third.
That's it. I like to do that sometimes with trilogies. You know, I'm like, well, the second one's always a downer, but
I
let's
like
get to
my
number
positioning right now because there's only like 4 picks until
All right.
to pick again.
With Fast and Furious, I only watch odd number ones, so I'm like on number 17 right now.
Are you telling us that you're going to pick Vin Diesel from Fast and the Furious as one of your crime bosses?
That would be in the second time I made that mistake. Brad, you got a
Dominic Toretto.
Damn it, Amy.
I got the wrap here, so this is beautiful. I get to take 2, and I'm excited about both of them.
Nick's cracking me up. Go ahead, Brad.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and go with my first pick, Marcellus Wallace.
That's a great pick.
What does Marcellus Wallace look like?
He ain't no bitch.
What's in the briefcase, Marcellus?
What's in the box?
As we talked about on our Pulp Fiction podcast from last year,
Oh, a lot of good picks going off
back
the
in
board.
the preseason.
Yeah, in the preseason, you should go back and check out the Pulp Fiction pod. That might be still my favorite so far. It was the most fun night, I think.
That's interesting because I'm pretty sure you haven't listened to any of them. So you're just talking about the live experience.
Yeah, the experience of doing it. I have no idea. I literally don't know what I said on it. It's actually shocking because
were great.
I tend to have a good memory, but like literally at least once a week, you guys are like, "I remember when you said that thing," and I was like, "No." I was like, I can't. Maybe I'm just end up really drunk every pod. I don't think I am.
No, I'm with you too.
All right, and we are on memorable gang bosses, and I am definitely going here with Jabba the Hutt, Revenge of the
I
Jedi.
thought I might get sneaky and
Return
grab that
of
one
the
late.
Jedi.
Man.
I can't let it go back because if it comes back to the third pick for me and
That's
it's
early.
gone, I'm going to be sad. So
Jabba,
So
Jabba went early, I think.
Return of the Jedi.
It's on the end of Nick's list, the very bottom. It's not even color coded.
I just wrote it in.
So this is where it feels tough.
Super memorable.
Pizza,
that's a-
Pizza the Hut's going next.
You're delicious.
All right, I'm gonna go a little off script here because it's
More than Jabba.
a little more than Jabba. I'm gonna go with
Jabba's not.
Kaiser Soze
That's great.
from The Usual Suspects.
Who plays Kaiser Soze?
Spacey.
Spacey, we don't talk about him though.
God,
Verbal is his
Verbal
old-
Kent. I love that movie. It was on my list, Nate. I really thought that you guys weren't going to pick it since it got that far, but I guess not.
No, I mean,
There was a lot of Corleones in the first round.
so
See, that one bugs me just because it's like, how can somebody that's so ruthless and amazing, it's like you're supposed to think that he can just be in plain sight the entire time. I know it's like that's
how
movie.
dope he is.
that's
he
what
could just-
makes him legendary.
But you remember seeing that for the first time, right?
Oh yeah,
No way you guessed it.
no doubt. No
Yeah,
doubt.
I
Oh
didn't
no,
guess
it
it.
blows you away.
I don't think anybody guesses that one. That one's so good.
And I can't remember, like, there are a couple of certainly movies since where they have that kind of like, you realize they're looking at things in the room kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
device. I don't know if there was any before it, but it was such a like revelation when that happens.
The biggest one I can think of is like when Brick's like, lamp. I love lamp. He's just like picking shit out in the room to.
Yeah, that's such a great line. All right,
All right,
Nicholas.
title holder what you got for us?
I'm going Jack Nicholson, Frank Costello, and
Damn.
The Departed.
I thought it might come back around. That was the other one I was thinking about.
I didn't think that was coming back.
I knew it wasn't.
I love, when he does the rat thing.
Fucking rats.
Oh, it's so good. He's so good.
When he gets the guy's severed hand out and it's just like hitting it
Pulling
on
the
the
ring
table
off and
Oh my
eating
God.
crab and then
Dude,
getting
he's
the
just
ring
got
off.
the blood all over his hands. He's just eating crab with his fingers.
he's so good in that. It's that movie is so, for me, as much as people like it, I still think it's underrated.
When you watch it for people like Nicholson, you watch Training Day for Denzel over and over, and you can watch Departed just for Nicholson over and over.
And he's one of like 5 people in
Yeah.
that movie, though, that you could like. I could in any given day, I might love Wahlberg, Damon, DiCaprio.
It's my
in that
favorite
movie.
Wahlberg role, I think, for sure.
Because he steals the show whenever he's in it. Wahlberg does.
And he just wants to fight constantly.
He's so over the top and it works.
Dude.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. All right.
All right, you got a little reach around. Reach-a-rito.
Okay, so
Sponsored by Taco Bell.
Back out on the topical ball menu, the Reach-a-Rito. Back up.
I'm going to go. And I would say that the argument is to be made that he was a pretty big boss. I mean, he didn't start out that way, but I'm going to go Henry Hill, Ray Liotta from Goodfellas. You don't think so?
Not a boss.
You don't think he becomes a boss? You think he's just a good fella?
He never was a boss.
Okay.
And he couldn't be a good fella.
I say we let him make the pick.
All right, I'm not going to take it then. I just love that movie.
Actually, De Niro was not the boss either.
Yeah.
But not of that crew.
Is there a boss? I mean,
Yes.
Yeah,
I
but he's
mean, the
forgettable.
guy that's the most the boss in
Is-
that movie is
Pesci. He's the one that gets whacked when they're getting ready. He's getting ready to be a made man. He's the boss of that little man crew.
Yeah, but that doesn't count.
it's the big guy that
if that
You
counts,
can't
then
count
Liotta
like
counts.
the godfather of that mob group. Otherwise, it gets a ton of people.
That's what I'm saying. If Pesci counts, then Liotta counts.
no, they're just Pesci's he's the one that's becoming a made man. But
So
he
that's
never
all you have to
actually
be
gets
as a
that.
made
That's
man?
the pecking
No, that's
order.
not a boss though. The boss is one. It's either what's his name, the big guy. He's a little bit bigger.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yep, you're right.
That,
I forgot
slaps-
about him. Yep.
That slaps
He would be the
Henry Hill at
boss,
one
yeah.
point. But there's also a guy above him.
But in the movie, you would have to say that guy who you're right.
Yeah, he's the one cutting the garlic in prison.
Yep.
All right, fine. Fuck you guys. I'm going to go with Heath Ledger as the Joker in The Dark Knight.
I like that pick. That's a solid one.
Yeah, that's a good.
That's a good pick.
That was hopefully coming back to me.
That was going to be my next. That was going to be my pick after Henry Hill, but I am going to go with. Damn, I was hoping for Marcellus Wallace right here. I'm going to go with John Malkovich as Teddy KGB in Rounders.
Such a good pick right there, dude.
Gosh, dang it.
Just because I love
Pays
his
out to
accent.
me and his money.
He's got alligator blood. Can't get rid of him.
He beat me straight up. There's no end.
I stick it in you.
Well, yeah,
I pay you with your own money.
when Matt Damon gets cocky with them right at the very end, when he beats them, those goons are like ready just to pounce. And he's like, "Nyet." He stops them.
Nyet.
And that's when pay him.
I
Hey, that's man, his money.
It's money.
there's no accent that I do more than Teddy KGB.
This is true. This
it's
is
so
100%
good.
true.
And
that's
I-
the accent I've heard Nate do the most.
and I often will scream "Niet" at my children. So I'm trying to get them to fully be able to like understand the
I love it.
the no in Russian.
Two good picks there, Zach. That was
That's
terrific
that's
start.
uncharacteristically. Once we saved you from yourself, that was two pretty good picks. All right,
I think
Nick.
I might just go Muppets at this point because I'm like, I got no chance.
Damn.
Is it Kermit? Is Kermit the boss?
I mean, Miss Piggy.
Miss
right?
Piggy is definitely the mafioso.
Oh, you're absolutely right.
All right, Nikki. What do you
All
got?
right.
He's analyzing numbers.
He's got a lot on his list. I can't
doing a lot of
read it.
scratching here.
He's got his like the draft sabermetrics going.
I'm not super
He's
good at
got
reading,
arrows
but
going all over the place.
it
I'm not
looks
sure.
really complicated what he's got going on. He's got him ranked in like percent of Italian descent.
He's got genealogies.
All right, I got to get some like curveballs. Like, I mean, it's still mob related. Zach, those were some good picks. I'm like kind of shot right now, but I'm going Joe Cabot, Reservoir Dogs, the team leader of the bank heist crew.
Not bad.
What color is he?
He's not a color.
He's not a color.
He's not a color.
He gives out colors.
He's Joe.
Oh, he's the boss.
He's the boss.
the boss.
Okay. I gotta do it. I gotta go with Frank Lucas, American Gangster.
He was on my list. I didn't love that movie.
So I didn't love that movie, but so I would say overall, but there are a couple scenes with him in particular. The restaurant, scene where he goes and pops the dude and comes back. It's Denzel just willing it, right, making it happen. And I just so for me, right, there's just a few things that stand out so much. If we're talking memorable, it's hard not to remember, him in that movie. I love it.
Oh man, there's one I want. My kids are gonna be mad if I don't take it, but you know what? Sorry, kids.
Was there a Pixar movie with There's Crime?
Oh, 100%.
Actually, I wonder whether or not
I just
called
watched
Big Hero 6.
Zootopia.
Oh,
recently.
Big Hero 6.
Nah, none of them.
Which one did you watch? Zootopia?
Dude.
Game related.
And there's like a Vito.
There you go.
gone.
That's what I'm saying. It's a total ripoff.
Is
That was gonna be talked about in Also Rans, but yes,
skunk butt.
Have you been watching Zootopia with Claire?
Yeah.
it's the best.
So it's the
good.
best one, but I will say that on that front, I feel like I've done a lot of things that have been terrible as a parent. I've been some that were okay. But my single biggest and most important victory is that this Christmas season I got Charlie absolutely and totally addicted. She's 3 to Home Alone.
Nice.
Every day in my house we watch Home Alone and Home Alone 2. And as movies that you have to watch on repeat go, they're great ones. And she just loves it. She eats it up. I feel like that's a parenting victory.
proud about
And Zootopia is one that we've also done, and I say that's a victory too. What do you got, Brad?
All right, so my first pick. You know what? To be a memorable gang boss, you don't have to be a male. You know this, right?
I was hoping to go to cross the gender
And
river.
I'm jumping in here on Oren Ishii from Kill Bill.
Ooh.
Has the crazy 88s. I mean, she's in charge. She's a badass. Oren Ishii, Kill Bill. Now, for the second and my final pick here. Oh, man. You know what? All right. We're going to go Civil War. We're going to go the 5 Points in New York.
Oh, nice.
And we're going to go ahead and go with Bill the Butcher.
Dude, that's a sick pick.
So, talk about movies I don't like. I really
that movie.
hate that movie.
Oh, why?
I don't know. It feels like I'm watching. I think it's because it feels like I'm watching a play. I'll admit right out front, I do not like period type stuff, is especially in that era, like Victorian or any of that, like kind of like turn of the 19th, 20th century America stuff, is a tough sell for me. And that one, I don't know. It's funny. Like usually Daniel Day-Lewis for me is like I'm all in, and that one it does not. Like I'm not saying it's not good. It just doesn't work for me.
Huh.
I don't know why. I don't like it. I don't know what to tell you.
Just Daniel Day-Lewis doing anything is amazing.
I think him as the Butcher is so sick, dude.
He's really good.
And it's got my dude DiCaprio, and I don't even hate Cameron Diaz in it. Everybody hates Cameron Diaz in that movie, but I don't hate her at all.
My brother was talking about for the Bill the Butcher role that there's a part where he like taps the knife on his eye, and that like he actually for 3 months, Daniel Day-Lewis was practicing touching his eye at night for like 15 minutes at a time, just so that he could get that reaction where he's tapping the knife on his eye and like not react whatsoever. Like that's pretty legit.
I believe that 100%.
So I'm going to go
Your final losing pick.
pretty well off script here. Let me make sure I really want to do this. Damn it. I don't know.
Nate, when's the last time you finished above third?
I won something. I won it once.
This one time
It's one time. I don't know.
at band camp.
Oh,
I can't
keep track
say
of
my
this shit.
W's were a long time ago. I can't. I was a younger man.
All right. I'm going to go with Curly Bill Brocious, who is the gang leader of the Cowboy Outlaws in Tombstone.
Ooh.
Do you have any clue how to spell that?
Yes, I do. Curly is Curly.
No, I need Bill.
Joe.
Brocious is Brocius.
It's like XBL Abrocious.
XBL Brocious. Yeah.
And this was Tombstone?
Yeah, there's a movie called Tombstone. You may have heard of it.
Yeah.
Val Kilmer's in it.
For reals.
All right. So Nate's team's losing. So on to Nick. Gosh, Nick's double fisting here. He's got the internet. He's got the paper. Like, it's just...
It's tough for Nick.
Chaos.
All right, I'm going.
I think he's putting too much pressure on himself. Now.
I'm
He's got
going-
a belt.
It's got to represent
Lot of
the
pressure.
Italian community.
I'm going Neil Macaulay, played by Robert De Niro in Heat.
Is he a boss?
Well, I'd say he's an organizer. I mean, he's a boss of that crew.
That's that crew.
I'll accept it,
Thanks.
but I don't like it.
Glad you accept it.
It suck when you lose to that pick.
Nope, that's not a winning pick.
I was thinking in 2022 we should do
They're here.
Heat like at least 4 times.
All right, I have my.
Is that a rewatchable? Is that a
Fired.
I'm just throwing a couple shots.
Are you-
You know,
are you-
2022
are you-
we might have to take a couple more shots at Bill Simmons. and his
Is that a
crew.
Bill Simmons slight?
What if we do
Bill's-
it 4 times this year? We'll just be like, what?
We'll be
4?
like, we did it 4 times.
He's just showing his
Better than
age
you.
when he picks that movie over and over again.
Is the fourth one going to be called the microwave edition? They got the reheat and
Just cold leftovers.
leftovers.
All right, where are we at?
I've still got a pick.
Big Z.
I've
So
still
we're
got a
done.
pick.
So we're done. So
Yeah,
we're good.
Yeah.
We're good.
I got the game.
Nice.
I got the game winner right here,
We'll let Zach
Whatever
3
pick
picks.
he-
and we're gonna stay in our lane
Makes
here. I'm gonna go with
Stay in your lane.
Frank White,
Yeah.
Christopher Walken in The King of New York.
So I'm going to say right now that I think you picked the wrong Walken mobster boss role.
Have you seen King of New York, Zach?
Yeah,
You think you should go with True
What's-
Romance?
Vincenzo Concetti.
Yeah, that's
Contori.
the fact that none of us took that. That's really, really sad.
You know what else? Since we're
Hey,
you know what else?
gonna make a bias. Does that sound like him?
That's a spot on
me.
accent.
Christopher Walken. I can't do it. It's fucking hard.
It's really hard. Yeah.
So how did we none of us take Nino Brown, New Jack City?
Because you've never seen the movie.
I've never
and
seen New Jack City.
I took it a
Haven't seen
while back in a draft, and everybody was like, "Huh?"
I haven't seen King of New York.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, it's like
All I'm saying is Notorious B.I.G. used to call himself Frank White because Christopher Walken's such a badass.
all right. What about Sonny Losbeck, the boss in Bronx Tale?
Haven't seen it.
Bronx Tale's good. That's a really good one.
There's so many. Once we really think about this, there's so many.
So
'Cause
have you guys seen A History of Violence?
Yeah,
with
so
Vigo?
And also,
we're talking William Hurt.
both Vigo, so Eastern Promises and History of Violence.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
got the Russian
Same
Armin
director,
Mueller,
right?
Stahl, the boss in Eastern Promises, amazing movie. And then you got William Hurt in History of Violence.
Which he won, I think. Did William Hurt win the supporting?
Actually, you might be right.
Which I'm a little bit like, eh.
So,
I
like,
think
what
it was a
about-
lame pick, but,
Yeah.
I'm just saying it was a.
What about Hans Gruber, right? He's the leader of a crime syndicate.
say sure.
I
I'd
think
say
he would have
Hans,
qualified,
yeah.
right? I mean, there's so many when you think about it like that. There's so many.
Yeah,
I mean, Bill is kind of a prime boss in a sense. Like,
Well, I couldn't believe you picked the Lucy Liu when you could have picked Bill from
yeah, but
from Kill
Ishii
Bill.
is like more. I mean, she has the entire
I like
second half
that.
of the first movie.
I like that we're reaching out to our female viewers, listeners.
So,
You know what?
yeah,
There was
Mr.
a-
Big,
okay.
Zootopia, that was on my list. Couldn't take that one.
Paul Vitti, who is from Analyze This. It's De Niro, right?
So if we're talking bank heist crews, because I picked Neil Macaulay, I also had Swayze as Bodie in Point Break.
Ooh, that's a really good one. How do we miss that one?
That's
Man,
a really
we're
good
gonna
one.
get shot
It
to
was
shit
on
on this
my-
one because there's some.
There's so many
biggins that we missed.
We tried to frame it too much with just a little bit interspersed that's not like pretty mob based. I think.
Have you
Yeah.
guys seen In Bruges?
Yes.
Ray
when I went
Fiennes,
to when I went
Ralph.
to Bruges.
Rafe, yeah.
Rafe Fiennes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you were talking about that to some guy from Bruges.
Yeah, so I watched In Bruges. Not really, literally. I was just like going to go to Bruges with me and Brad and our wives, and I was like, well, I want to watch a movie about Bruges, and there's a movie called In Bruges, and it turns out, right, it's kind of a super dark horse, off the beaten path, great movie, and it's very Bruges-y. Like it's one of those movies where like they filmed it all in Bruges, every single scene, you know where it's at. It's very cool. It's a good movie.
And
couple
dark.
real quick add-ons to that Bruges trip was that when we got to the place we were staying, they legit had that DVD like sitting by the DVD player. And then our spot that we were staying was also above the sexual torture museum.
It was not sexual torture. It was just medieval torture.
Oh, medieval
You
torture.
just remember
The
that.
sexual
mean,
torture
There were a lot of
museum?
sexual torture devices.
There was sexual torture devices in there as well, but we were like directly above it.
Yeah, we were on the like second floor, and it was the basement.
Yeah, when we walked into like our little spot we're staying, like you could go into the sex torture stuff, or you could go upstairs.
And seeing as how my wife is a violence expert, this worked out just well. She was like, guys, we're going to go down and see the torture museum.
Oh, we went through it. We
This
definitely
is
went
great.
through it. 100%.
Okay, any other also-rans? I mean,
There's a billion.
I mean,
Falcone from the Batman series.
Yeah, I thought about
Carmine
that one.
Falcone. He
got-
could have been picked as well.
Vincenzo Cacotti, Christopher Walken in True Romance.
yes. So that's the one I think is the correct pick for.
Disagree. What about
Moving on.
what about Shredder from Ninja Turtles?
I'd say yes.
He's legit.
For sure.
Especially
Darth
that,
Vader.
especially that first movie.
Oh, Vader.
Darth Vader's more of like a leader, like
Yeah, but I mean, as far as like the leader of men, I mean, he was.
Was he committing any crimes though? Really?
I mean, just cold-blooded murder.
I mean, they were
genocide.
like legit government.
Is that space justice?
He literally blew up an entire planet.
I know, but they were legit government kind of.
He's in the bylaws.
They were basically just a mafia.
I mean, you're
that,
saying was Hitler a crime boss?
I'd say he's the worst one.
So
He was committing
I'm going
crimes
back
and
to
he was a
taking
boss.
Jojo Rabbit's Hitler.
if we're gonna so Joker, right? You could also take Jack Nicholson's Joker, which would have been I think a pretty good one. You could have taken Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
If-
But
if
after Heath Ledger Joker, it's kind of hard. That's
Heath
gonna
Ledger
get
Joker
all
is just so legendary,
Too good.
though.
Yeah. What about I just had one and I lost it. But the Lego movie. Is there a crime? Would we say
Business.
President Business?
Business.
Will Ferrell?
Yeah, and then also if we want to go, the assistant mayor, the sheep in Zootopia. If you want, that's a sort of an organized.
What
crime.
about who was it? Who's the in Austin Powers, the bald guy?
Oh,
Dr. Evil.
Yeah, Dr. Evil, right?
Dr. Evil might be our
Pretty
biggest
legendary
miss.
one. No, I don't think so. But I mean, I think that's definitely one that you could pick legitimately. Or the bad guy Von Kunth in MacGruber.
Like I said, I got through the first episode of the new series, and it's so MacGruber. It's beautiful.
I'm excited.
So MacGruber.
It's almost got me wanting to take a parrot or whatever that shit's called. Get that account. What is it?
Oh,
It's
the
on-
cock.
Peacock. Yes,
Yeah.
not parrot.
Oh yeah, no. Parrot. There's a couple movies streaming on Parrot that I really want to watch.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Most likely.
All right, so we are going to break, and when we come back, we're going to have Rob Schafer back on, and we're gonna pick his brain a little bit and talk movie editing, talk Francis Ford Coppola,
Well,
talk
we-
about all kind of shit. Who knows what else we might
I've done
talk
some of that already.
I don't know, but I'm just saying
A little bit.
We're
We're
gonna
just
do
going
some
to get
more.
into the nitty.
we're gonna get deeper and wider and
The gritty nitty?
yeah, the gritty nitty. So
Gotcha.
we're coming back for that, and then we're going to eventually have him rank our draft. Stay tuned.
California has the largest population in the United States and the site of some of the most famous true crime cases in history. But there's more than meets the eye to the crime in California. Join Sean, Jessica, and Charles on the California True Crime Podcast as they cover crime both infamous and overlooked from around our state, while looking at the deeper history that goes beyond beaches and movie stars.
All right, we are back, and we are joined once again by Rob Schafer, who is the editor at American Zoetrope, which is Francis Ford Coppola's company, and he joined us for Drinking with the Editor on our pod on Tuesday, where we talked about The Godfather. That was awesome, and if you haven't heard that, you should go back and give it a listen.
If you guys are like, man, I love Bev's Video Kingdom, but they don't have very legit guests on. Like, fucking listen to the Godfather pod. Go back and listen to that shit. It was 2 days ago. And it's legit.
Rob, thanks for coming back, man.
I'm glad to be here.
All right. So one of the things that we talked a little bit about this, but I was just like, I loved the story. So tell me a little bit about how you ended up becoming the editor for Francis Ford Coppola and for his company now. Like, what would that path look like?
I was going to San Francisco State, just getting my bachelor's in cinema studies, and my girlfriend at the time, wife now, was working at a dentist office, and one of Francis's producers was getting her teeth cleaned or whatever you do at the dentist office.
And you know who you talk to? The fucking lady that's cleaning your teeth. You have some intimate conversations with that lady, right?
Yeah, and so my wife asked, knew who she worked for, and asked if they needed anybody or whatever. And she said, "Yeah, we can use. We have some internships that we can we need help with." And then she got me like an interview right there on the spot. And so she said, "Yeah,
That's
go
amazing.
meet with this person in downtown San Francisco." And I went and met, and he said, "We're looking for editors. Do you like editing?" I said, "Yeah, I love editing."
Did you in fact love editing?
I did.
But you hadn't done a whole lot of it,
No,
right?
I hadn't done much at all. And in fact, they were like, "Well, we're using Final Cut Pro. Do you know Final Cut Pro?" And I said, "Yeah, absolutely, I know it."
Yeah.
But I had never touched it. I never looked at it.
So you
It's
went
like
home.
every application I've ever done where it's like, "Are you fluent in Excel?" And I'm like, "Hell yeah."
Yeah, man. I'm fluent in that and a lot of other languages.
Fake it till you make it. But hey, so on that note, so with Final Cut Pro, so all digital. I mean, I'm assuming same age. We're close. Like you're late 30s.
Yeah.
Okay, so did you do any analog editing previous, like with like VHS or like any school projects or anything like that?
Yeah, I did some at school. I actually worked on I forget what it was called, a Steinbeck or something like that, Kinofilm, or Steinbeck, which is actual film, but it was only like one little short film. But I worked at Telemundo actually a little bit for their news production.
Sabado.
Yeah. Is that soccer or something?
Yeah, it just means Saturday.
Oh,
Saturday,
yeah.
And they always say Los Raiders.
Yeah, and that was tape to tape. So I had 2 tape decks, and it was linear. You wouldn't search around for where to put things. It was like you put thing one after the other.
Oh my lord, yeah. So that's. I went to University of Pacific, and I was video production, and this was in '97 to 2001, and we were just basically doing things on VHS.
Okay, yeah.
Which was terrible for if you want to go into video production. It's like we got no digital experience whatsoever, and it was terrible. But later, of course, I learned it. But it's just like the old school method was just so time consuming and ridiculous and terrible.
Yeah, it was very different than it is now. But I had worked with another program called Vegas at the time.
Yeah.
That was a big one for me. But
So I'm curious. We skipped over a big chunk
I
there.
was just
So
after your wife talked to
no. I want to go. I want to go prequel. I want to go Godfather 3 here. So what made you want to go into a film major at San Francisco? So obviously you had some films that inspired you at a young age. I'm curious. I mean, obviously they may not be Coppola films or whatever it is, but I'm just curious, like, what was your inspiration to think like, this is what I want to do?
I think Wes Anderson's first film, Bottle Rocket, is probably the one that really got me into film.
Fuck yeah. I love that movie.
Yeah, it was the first movie where I watched it. I was like, oh man, these people are talking like I talk, and having weird ass conversations that my friends and I would have, and it was very quirky, and it kind of showed me that like, oh, film can kind of be more than just stereotypical close-ups and things like that. So,
dude, that's a Bev's Video Kingdom rental for me. I'm serious. Like literally at Bev's Video Kingdom, I remember renting the VHS of Bottle Rocket, and there was another one. God, this is terrible radio.
Another Wes Anderson?
No, it's not Wes Anderson, but there was one that was like in the same vein to me that had the guy that played Phoebe's little brother on Friends. Giovanni Ribisi, and it's called he's wearing a green sweater that is very reminiscent of the sweater that I'm wearing right now, the entire movie, and they fucking, god damn it.
Lisa's gonna be so excited about
I'll hunt this down
conversation.
while we continue.
Anyways, I think that's the movie Bottle Rocket that you're talking about is very like, that's like one of would you say that was like your intro to like sort of like indie filmmaking, or like one of the first movies that you saw that was like accessible, but at the same time it was like, oh, this is different from fucking whatever is like T2 or whatever the cool movie was at the time. You know what I mean?
yeah, definitely. Accessible is a good word for it, for sure.
All right, so let's real quick. We'll go through a few of those kind of directors of the '90s in that sense. So, just your initial quick thoughts on each of these. Linklater.
Linklater. I've seen a few. I didn't like any of the. I haven't gotten through any of the Before Sunset, whatever.
Oh, I like
trilogy.
those.
I like the one that he shot over like 20 years.
Boyhood.
Yeah. Okay.
The one that's a cartoon's pretty cool.
Oh yeah. Shit. Scanner
Darkly,
Darkly.
yeah.
How about Kevin Smith?
I haven't really connected with any of his films, really.
I mean, as a filmmaker, yeah, he's definitely. I mean, more a script guy than a movie auteur. As far
Yeah,
as.
I like his personality. I used to listen to his podcast and
Okay.
stuff like that. So
And then how about Tarantino? Of course.
yeah, I love every Tarantino movie. Yeah, they're all good.
What's your favorite Tarantino movie?
That's tough.
Now we're getting into Brad's wheelhouse.
Or top
here.
2.
Top 2.
Give you a little-
Pulp
give you a little
Fiction. I
room.
mean, is probably number 1 easily. But I like his latest. Actually, you know what? The only one I didn't really care for was his the Hollywood one.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of.
So I've only seen it once, but I had that same take.
enough.
And
I need to go back to it because
man, I don't-
maybe it's another one. It needs another viewing, but yeah, I kind of felt the same way.
that's interesting. Okay. So I want to jump now ahead for a second because
He was like your story as far as like
yeah. So this is exactly
Yeah,
what I
let's
want
keep
to
going.
hear at. So I want to jump to that point. So you get the internship.
Yeah, I got the internship, and they said, you know, they were shooting. No, they had shot a movie called Youth Without Youth in Romania, and they were doing post production on it. And they had also shot a bunch of behind the scenes stuff, and so they were like, we need help putting these featurettes together. You know, like the making of the music, making of the wardrobe, all that kind of stuff. And I was like, cool, I'll actually get to get my hands on something, which is something that's been a common thing with American Zoetrope is. You know, it's kind of small, and but it's you go there and you get your hands on everything, which is really nice.
which is crazy. How is it smaller? Is the competition extremely? Do you know? Is it like hard to get into? Is there? I mean, there's got to be hundreds of applicants, or is there not? Or
Well, I don't know about. No, not really. I mean, because
just like under the radar?
especially at the time, I mean, he had taken a long hiatus in between making films, and it used to be really big. There's a building in San Francisco called the Sentinel Building, which he owns, and that's where their headquarters used to be, and it used to be full. And even by the time I got there, it had been pared down quite a bit to only a few floors are actually fully active. And then, you know, a lot of what I did early on was move things around because they kept reorganizing and getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So take this room, move it to this room, move it to that room, and consolidate everything. By the time, you know, I don't know, a few years in, it was like we had one floor and that was basically it. Wow. But yeah, no, I mean, we do get, you know, a lot of people that say, you know, if you need any help with anything, I'm that kind of thing. But it's not like a big Pixar factory or anything.
right? Yeah.
But so you were an intern for what, a year or something?
Not even that. No, it was like maybe like 6-7 months, and then I was like, hey, you know, I'm going to school for full time. I'm working at a toy store, and I'm doing this. You know, I'd like to drop one of those. Can you guys give me something part time? And they're like, yeah, we want to keep you around, keep you busy. So they gave me the key and said, you know, you got 15, 20 hours or whatever. Which was ridiculous. They're like, that's how much we're going to pay you for. And I was like,
And then we're going to need you to work 60 hours.
Yeah, which, you know, I was down for sure. And then, you know, a few months after that, they said, okay, we want you full time. And I think I had finished college, and I was like, you know, I got to figure out something. And they're like, okay, well, why don't you stay here? So
That was just a few months later.
yeah, I think I started in 2006, and then 2007 when I graduated is when I started full time.
So classmates, were they just like, you motherfucker?
I think I've kept in touch with one person from college.
they all
They all made shitty films, and I didn't like any of them.
So the Giovanni Ribisi movie I was talking about was Suburbia, which also came out in 1996, which also cost $600,000 to make, which is the exact same year and the exact same timeline as Bottle Rocket. Do you remember seeing that movie?
I've
No?
never heard of that
Oh my
movie.
God, damn it. All right. I digress.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, Suburbia. That's the one I guessed eventually that that's
Yeah.
what we're talking about. So one of the things that you and I talked about kind of in the lead up that I think's sort of an interesting is when you're young like that, right? I mean, this was like your girlfriend at the time has a conversation with somebody that gets you this sort of interview for an internship, and I think you sort of imagine, you know, it's. I would say, would you say you have your dream job? I mean, it's a pretty great, pretty cool you know, and a lot of-
for sure.
But you know, it's all a result of these things that happen when you're young. That you know you can't really appreciate which one's going to be the thing, right? But like, you know, I think it's a good thing if you're a young person listening to sort of like remember that like the people that get to these jobs, right? It all starts with this kind of like a combination of the happy accident and then some persistence, right? I mean, like you started as an intern, and you know you eventually work your way up to being the editor and hanging out with Francis Ford Coppola all the time, right?
I love
definitely.
it. I love it. We're an inspirational podcast now.
Well, I definitely think it's a mix of like being lucky and being persistent, working hard. Because there's a lot of people who are in a position that they shouldn't be in because they're lucky, and they don't have the mentality to work hard while they're there. And there's a lot of people who I've seen work extremely hard, and they are not doing what they want to do. Yep. But if you have the you just have to like work hard no matter what and say yes to everything. And even then, that's not a guarantee.
Right.
Yeah. So if you could go back and recut any film, if you got a chance to put your hands on any film,
Any movie of all time?
yeah, anyone, your choice. What do you cut? What do you like to? What do you want to
Just
mess
Lifetime
with?
movies only. Lifetime. Movies.
only Hallmark.
Chucky,
a good question.
Chucky 1, the original.
No. I've never seen Chucky. Actually,
is that just me?
No, my wife hates Chucky. That's the one movie she's really scared of.
Exactly. Exactly. It needs
That's what I'm saying.
it needs a fucking re-edit, bro.
Needs a redux.
I don't know. It'd probably be something super epic like Heaven's Gate or something like that. Something that has a lot of potential. That's I don't know, maybe Star Wars.
I will say that.
Fuck you, George.
Your wife is here with us tonight, and in a side conversation, I said, "What is the one movie that Rob's shown you that you didn't like?" And she said, "Lord of the Rings," and it made me sad.
Yeah, she dislikes me so much she will not watch Lord of the Rings.
She just says she can't. She falls asleep. I'm like, how?
Is there anything at American Zoetrope that you can give us a little hint on that you're like super psyched about, that you're working on now, that you know that's in the works, that you may or may not be able to divulge information about?
Megalopolis is something that we're working on right now.
I saw that. Okay. Yeah. Can you give us a little bit about what the premise or the plot?
Yeah, and honestly, if I tell it to you now, it might change by the time it comes out.
Cool.
It's constantly going on. But I mean, it's also very hard to describe, so forgive me, because it has changed a lot, and it's a lot of big ideas. It's kind of a modern Roman tragedy where it takes place in this kind of imagined mix between the Roman Empire and New York, where it's in the future, and there are two guys kind of fighting with what they think would be the best thing for a utopian society.
Like a Julius Caesar, a little bit like a take.
It's more like a Trump Biden.
Yeah, sort of. No, but someone who wants to keep things the way they are, but just support them better and build them better, and someone who wants to completely change everything, and ask questions like why we do things the way we do, why do we have money, things like that.
How long has that been in the works up to this point already?
Long time. I mean, Francis, I think, was writing it. I want to say it's been 20 years.
Oh, wow.
I mean, he's picked it up and put it down, picked it up and put it down. He was actually in production when he was shooting second unit footage. Second unit is when you shoot like, establishing shots of a location without any actors. And he was shooting second unit when the towers were hit in 2001.
Oh my gosh.
And he was in New York, and he has hours of gorgeous, heartbreaking footage of everything, and it's really beautiful. And at that point, he tried to rewrite it in the new, atmosphere we were all in, and he wasn't happy with it, so he put it down for a long time.
So we put it down for 20 years.
I mean, probably 10.
So
that's crazy.
Looking at just the casting possibilities, is there a lot of confirmed here, or is there still a lot of in the air? Because the looking at what's rumored is amazing.
Yeah.
What's rumored, Brad? Can we share some rumors?
Can I say the rumors?
Yeah.
All right. So we've got Zendaya, Kate
God.
Blanchett, Oscar Isaac, James Caan, Michelle Pfeiffer, Jon Voight, Jessica Lange, Forrest Whitaker. That's all on IMDb.
Wait, did you say the main guy?
Oscar Isaac.
Oscar Isaac,
Yeah.
yes.
He's the one I'm excited about.
Oscar Isaac's
Dude,
awesome.
Oscar Isaac.
Forrest
freaking
Whitaker's awesome too.
Zendaya, dude. That's wild.
So when would filming?
Hope. I've heard some dates. Hopefully, I don't know.
But this year.
Hopefully,
Okay. And would you be on? I mean, will you be on set for something like this?
I don't know yet.
But is it theoretically though? Like
It's possible.
it's possible. Yeah.
But I mean, more than likely at the Bay editing, correct?
More than like, hopefully.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
That would be really cool.
Who knows? I mean, there's so many things like this. You know, they a lot of possibilities come up and then go away, and you know.
Yeah.
And Coppola wants to direct this, correct?
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
Okay.
that's his thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it. Okay.
And we did a we did an extended workshop in June where we were up in Napa on his stage with a large group of people and a lot of cameras and workshopping the script.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So some readings, basically. I mean, where?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Are you-
There was a word we came up with. Actually, it was more than just reading because there were it's like stumble through, I think is what he called it, where it was a big stage and there were a lot of tables set out and it was like, okay, well, this is the car set and this is a whatever set, and the actors would like get up and go to each place, not just sit at a table and read it.
Okay, so
That's actually what we call all of the podcasts we do. We call them stumble throughs.
By the end of the night.
very interesting. That sounds exciting.
Oh man, yeah.
All right. So
Is this the first fucking draft of the new season?
Oh my gosh.
Of the first season, the inaugural season.
We're about to start counting.
If only we had a champion from the previous season, but we don't because it didn't count.
Pure
Oh
preseason.
God, I'm so excited, you guys.
all right, Rob. So
I'm really nervous.
Just stretching my arms out, just getting ready.
So tell us a little bit about how what your strategy was for coming up with for judging the draft.
Well, yeah. So I guess it's memorable gang bosses, right? So the ones that
memorable
Gang
bosses.
crime. You have to have a crew of henchmen.
He said memorable. Are you correcting? Are you
No, I'm just saying you have to have. I'm just saying you have to have a
memorable.
crew of henchmen in order to be
and typically
considered.
considered the leader.
Yeah. You got to kind of be the
that set
boss.
of henchmen,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So how'd you decide?
So whatever Nick picked doesn't fucking
Just don't
count.
disagree with like our guest. That's rude.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's kind of my thing.
I
Nick.
think I tried to be agnostic to the movie because there's some pretty heavy hitters on here that I mean you have to pick, but if it's just the character, the mob bosses that I like the most are the ones like we were discussing a couple days ago, are the ones that that aren't really focused on trying to be good, aren't conflicted at all, that are just bad. That are just villains that
Bad
want the
MFers.
power.
Yeah.
That's the ones you like.
Those are the ones I like.
Okay.
So it's going to be hard for me to pick Godfather 1 and Godfather 2.
Oh, shit.
because they're complicated.
Yeah, they're
You're thinking
complicated
more
people.
like Bill Cosby, right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
He's got some underlings.
Just talking about domination.
Oh, he's not bad at all.
He's complicated. Okay.
And I will say there are, and as far as memorable goes, there are a couple in here that I had to look up because I'd seen the movie but forgotten the characters.
Yeah, that's not very memorable.
I love it.
And I certainly gave points for variety.
Oh, there we go.
There you go. Hey, man.
So some of the ones you looked at may not have ruined people's
Altogether.
drafts.
When he looked him up, he was like, "This is fucking stupid," but I'll give him a variety point.
Again, speaking for our guest.
What was Nick thinking about?
Putting words in his mouth.
All right, so talk us through the rounds a little bit. So in round one, going across the row, any picks stand out that you like or didn't like there?
Do I say like the pick, the best? The
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
just
no,
curious
that's
what
good.
you
Go
think
time.
about. Like,
Shit
you
on
see the
whatever
top
you wanna
four
shit
picks. If
on.
you go right, left to right on that first row, like, what are you thinking about the top four picks in the draft?
Well, okay, so that's got Vito and Michael Corleone. You can't ignore that. But like I said, as far as mob bosses go, they're the best characters of all time. But there's not really what I gravitate to in a mob boss. I got to go with Marcellus Wallace on that one.
Ooh.
I actually agree with you, and that's not my team. It's some bullshit.
Yeah, he was just too cool, man. I mean, he was throwing people out windows for giving foot massages.
Well, it commanded respect. Everybody knew that when you're fucking with Marcellus Wallace, you better come correct. Because
When Travolta has that conversation with himself in the bathroom mirror where he's like, am I going to do this right now?
I love it.
Yeah, and as far as like memorable ends to, I mean, his story was a little bit more memorable.
Yeah.
We don't even know how it ends.
Oh,
That's
we know.
true.
Vito did it.
No,
He was going to accept
nobody-
anything on his daughter's wedding day. So
well, Marcellus, nobody speaks a word of it again. That he
No.
made that promise happen.
Well, no, I mean, he tells Bruce Willis, he's like, we ain't going to talk about it. And Bruce Willis is like, fuck no, we're
Stay
not.
gone, or
Yeah,
you'll be
just
gone.
don't kill me, bro.
Stay gone or
All right, second round. What do you like there? What do you like? What do you like?
Second round. God, Jabba the Hutt. I'm not a big Star Wars guy, so wasn't really. Although I am excited for the Book of Boba Fett.
I was hoping you were going to
Sir.
say, I'm not a big Star Wars guy, but I love slugs.
Yeah,
So Jabba was a
I'm
great
into.
pick, though.
Yeah, no.
Garden pests, I'm really into.
Yeah, I mean Kaiser Soze. I got to go with Kaiser Soze on that one. He was just ruthless.
I agree with
Ruthless.
that, too.
Brutal.
It's terrible.
I mean, at first I was thinking, oh man, what did he do? He just faked a thing and faked a
speech impediment.
speech impediment.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's that whole story about him killing his family. So
Oh, and he has he coordinates the entire thing. I mean,
Yeah.
it's down to the last detail.
yeah.
All right, and round three.
Round 3.
Who do we got in round three?
Oh yeah, you got to go with Orenishi for sure. I mean, she was brutal.
That's an interesting take.
She was super brutal, and she wanted to just I mean, the way she killed.
So you
everyone.
wouldn't say that the most memorable mob boss or crime boss from that movie isn't Bill? You say it's Oren, huh?
for sure.
Oh, interesting.
Good. All right,
I
and
don't like where this is going.
in the fourth round, any like good like late round pickups there?
No.
So,
just
let me ask you this.
I'm not a fan of Heat, and I wasn't a fan
thank
of
you.
King of New York.
Oh,
Yeah, no, I got to go with
so
Bill
if
the
I had
Butcher on that one.
taken Shredder from Ninja Turtles, what would you think about that?
That's pretty good.
Oh, god damn it!
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Would have won you the
And
draft.
I knew how old he was too. I was like, he's right in Shredder's wheelhouse.
I was terrified of Shredder as a kid. Fucking
He
foot
took
soldiers.
Frank White from King of New York, but what if he would have taken the Italian mob boss in True Romance for the
I've never seen True Romance.
Oh, okay. That wouldn't have helped.
You got some homework.
I guess I do.
All right, so let's hear it. So you got a ranking for us?
Yeah, I got to go with number 4.
That's the winner.
Nessa winner, yeah.
Hey guys.
Number 4.
Welcome to 202. y'all.
God.
Welcome to 2022.
All right. Read your team.
boy,
Shithead.
Brad.
All right, team 4, myself, the winner, had Marcellus Wallace from Pulp Fiction, Jabba the Hutt, Return of the Jedi, Oren Ishii, Kill Bill, and Bill the Butcher from Gangs of New
Big
York.
brain
Dude,
on Brett.
I'm so confused right now.
It's a great.
This is an
pick.
alternate ending that I
Great.
love.
I heard Brad's team and I was like, I like Brad's team, but I didn't think it was the winner.
But you also didn't have a single like traditional mob boss, right?
Yeah.
It was
Fucking
gang
View Askew
bosses,
Productions
like-
No,
over
but I'm
here.
just saying. Okay, so you got a runner up?
Yeah, I mean, number 3 is great.
Yeah, it is. 3 is great.
Yeah, Kaiser Soze and Frank Lucas.
Let's dig into that a little bit.
we can stop there though. That's good.
Yeah, it is great. Okay, wait.
we
The
can
most
stop.
important important thing of the evening is what about last place? What team do you have for last place? Here we go.
This is important.
Yeah, no, number 1 is just way off. I think number 1's got to be
Way off.
way off.
Oh, that's what I was thinking. 100%.
God
Yeah.
damn it.
Because you're thinking Falcone is the right pick for the Batman series, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
2022.
Hard
That's power
disagree.
you can't buy.
Hard disagree.
So we'd say I feel like things are kind of.
I feel like-
the universe is sort of back.
you
in
know
order.
Heath Ledger died a tragic death, right? I mean, are we not giving any points for that? I mean, Jesus Christ.
Get your
Brad,
shit
you
together.
won tonight, but I feel like me, you, and Nate all won tonight.
Yeah.
Oh,
The universe is backing up.
Yeah.
It's like it's best of times.
I was surprised there was no Joe
Drop
Pesci
the
on
ball.
here.
Joe Pesci woke it when
we talked about Joe
Anything,
Pesci.
man.
We talked about Joe
Goodfellas, Casino.
Pesci. We don't think he's a boss, though.
Yeah, so I think there was a
So
question
he's-
as to whether
but
he qualifies.
My
as a
argument was
boss.
that he's a boss in Goodfellas.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Not in Casino.
No,
Yeah.
because there's a difference between a made man and a boss, right? I mean, like
A made man's a
he's
boss
gonna
of his unit, dude.
Yeah, but I disagree, and mainly because it's you, Nick.
I disagree with the editor of The Godfather.
Paul Sorvino is like the main boss guy in Goodfellas, though. Like he's the one calling all the shots, at least for that crew.
Isn't isn't that the guy that played Paul on? Oh, never mind.
It's Mira's husband.
All right. So,
Oh,
so
going
what
off
we're
the
saying
rails.
is that how long has it been since you had a win? Did you just?
I will
it's
say,
been like a-
Rob
Rob,
can't
I
even
appreciate
remember
you
the
because
last
this is
time he had a
my
win.
first W in a while. I was at 4 for the longest time.
It's his first legitimate W. All of the other wins that he has are all half wins.
Well, this is the first legitimate season, so the only person that has a legitimate season win is myself.
There it is. Damn.
Yeah, I think Oren and Bill the Butcher put it over the top for me.
Hey, I agree with the Bill the Butcher pick. I think that's a fucking.
It's funny. I was saying in the draft, like for some reason, I love Daniel Day-Lewis, and I generally like Scorsese stuff, and I just don't like that movie, and I don't like Bill the Butcher in it. It feels too much like a cartoon character.
I
or
think Bill's
something.
what makes it for me.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think
More
that
than
movie,
Leo.
Gangs
More
of
than
New York
Leo.
and The Aviator are movies I can just put on and I don't know what it is about the stories. I just sit there and I can let it wash over me. So,
Dude, I cannot get into Aviator, but Gangs of New York, I'm down.
The Way of the Future.
Way of the future.
And I'm usually like the biggest DiCaprio fanboy you can find. Like, although I haven't watched the new Netflix one. Has anybody watched it yet?
Oh, has anyone watched
I
it?
My
did.
dad just called me today on the way over here. He's like, you got to watch it. I was like, I'm going to. at
So
some
my
point.
mom
Got to
watched
yet.
it also, and she was like, "It's great. You got to watch it." My wife watched it. She really liked it. So that's next on the docket, I think.
Didn't it just come out like this morning or something?
It came out like,
like
2
3
days
days
ago.
ago,
It's
like
been a while.
Christmas Day or
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
I think the 26th. Yeah.
It was pretty good.
Oh, you saw it already too,
Yeah.
Nikki?
Yeah.
Jeez, I'm a-
Robbie, you
So
checked it
you
out?
watched all 3
Don't look them
Godfathers.
I didn't
Yeah,
watch all 3. I rented 2, didn't watch it, jumped over 2 because I've seen it, and watched 3.
So you have a young baby and a new wife. And,
I care
and
about
you
Bevs.
watched-
You know what I mean? I care about Bevs and what we're
And
doing
you
here.
watched
He's committed.
you watched the new
This kid, he
DiCaprio Netflix movie and both Godfathers in the past 2 days.
He could take it.
But I like movies.
Did
I'm
your
on a
baby
movie
just
podcast.
you drugging your baby? Is that what's happening?
Oh yeah.
with breast milk.
Hey, Rob, before you get out of here, I'd like to ask you one real quick question. That is, what's a movie you've seen recently?
Oh, yeah, that's a
that
good one.
like is something that we should check out and the audience should check out. That
And why is it Hereditary?
Because I love
or
decapitation.
Midsummer.
I haven't seen Midsummer, actually.
what's something that
Let me
stood out to
think.
you?
There's
in a while?
Multiple answers are working for us.
It's going to be
Besides
tough to
that-
recommend because it's super duper long, but Get Back.
I'm on season 18 of that right now.
Yeah, I just finished it. It's
Gosh dang it! Was that
Fucking
not
good.
one of the most amazing things ever to watch?
It was so good.
So as an editor, does watching Get Back just like make you think like, what did you do, Peter? Did
No.
you just fucking put all the videos onto the thing and not
No.
touch any of them?
Peter Jackson is throwing the fingers up to everybody like this is as small as I could get it.
And I agree because oh my god, the scope of the thing is just amazing. And so to be fair, my thing lately has been my wife works nights and I sleep by myself and I put on Get Back and I'm out in about 20 minutes to Get Back. I'm sleeping.
I was
And
entranced.
it's
I could not.
fucking spectacular. And I've watched. I mean, I'm not on the 3rd episode yet, but I'm almost done with the 2nd episode. And just the songwriting stuff is fucking unbelievable.
I love seeing the interaction in the business side of things where they're talking to producers and like you can tell that there's producers trying to like get in their ideas.
Influence
Yeah.
and like, oh yeah, dude. And when they're like trying to plan the set, and John's like coming up with all this weird shit. He's like, "You just make it plastic, and it'd be like a big plastic thing." And it's like, dude,
and then they
it's-
leave the next day.
I know, yeah, dude. It's so wild.
Yeah.
It's lunchtime. Let's go.
I like how funny they were. They had so much fun. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is, as much as people talk about that was like the end of the Beatles and them starting to beef, like they're still brothers and they still are going to have their fun times together. And And that just comes through.
My takeaway from the
100%.
parts that I've watched is that Paul and Ringo are fucking awesome, and they could get along with anybody.
Well, Ringo
And,
can get along with anybody.
That's what I mean. Ringo and Paul, the whole time, they're trying to keep the shit together. They're trying to fucking be diplomatic about everything. You know, it's kind of like how I feel with you guys, because you guys are fucking dicks all the time, and I'm just like trying to fucking hold the shit together.
You're the George. You're the
I'm
little
holding it
brother
together
that,
with-
that everybody's like, dude, okay.
I've just
deal
got
with that, little
fucking
brother.
duct tape, spit, and cum, just trying to hold everything together.
The artist.
You know what I mean? Just trying to stick it all together.
And I'm Peter Sellers. I just come in and stand here for a second.
How awkward was that? Peter Sellers like, okay, these are the Beatles. Yeah. And they're talking about weird shit.
How
Okay,
funny
I'm out.
is that shit? And they're like, thanks for coming by, Pete.
But yeah, no, somebody asked Peter Jackson about, like, is there going to be like a cinema release 2 hours? And he's like, nah.
Yeah, that'd be ridiculous.
I don't know what you would do with 2 hours of that footage. I mean, you'd have to cut so much. It'd be like Paul working out Get Back, and then they do the show, and that's it.
I was surprised editorially the decision to spoiler alert in the third one, but when they go up to the rooftop and do the actual show, that they actually showed them doing multiple takes of the same
Yeah, because
song.
everybody always thought it was just like they played like 4 songs or 5 songs and that was it. And it's like, no, they just redid songs
And
multiple times.
I think that would be the easiest thing to like, oh, how are we going to get this down? To say like, oh, well, maybe don't show them doing Get Back like 5 times on the roof. You know? But it was cool.
We're watching the cops getting the run around. And so fun.
Yeah.
I really can't think of a more appropriate, like, something for the editor to be into than that fucking 7-hour like opus of just like raw footage that they basically just released to the public.
But you realize it was like 120 or 150 hours of footage. And
No, I mean, I believe it was an insane amount of footage, but
Yeah.
I just it's really captivating for what it is.
Oh, Power of the Dog too is really good.
So I've started watching that. I'm like
Yeah.
watching that in episodes.
The new the Western that's not a Western,
It's so
it got
weird.
panned a little bit.
All Westerns are non-Westerns these days.
It's so weird because it doesn't tell you like the relationship between everybody at first. You kind of have to like understand it through implications and things.
that just came out on Netflix, correct?
Yeah.
I haven't watched it yet, but it's on the
That's
queue.
good. The ending is good.
Okay,
Get
I
to
would
it.
think that I'd bill. I mean, it's a slow burn.
Yeah,
right?
for
Kind
sure.
of, yeah.
Slow burn, yeah.
And for all you peeps out there who didn't realize or didn't know, Letterkenny season 10 dropped.
Is this the time that I should tell the
And
story?
MacGruber,
or-
MacGruber on Parakeet.
Wait. Nate's got a story. Tell the story, Nate.
Well, I had a dream the other night.
Oh, about
yeah, this is
Letterkenny.
actually funny.
No, well, no, not exactly. So, I'm like dreaming about a former mentor of mine and a couple mentors, and one was throwing a birthday party for the other. I think a retirement party for the other. And these are both people that are pretty sort of nerdy, square folks, and so we're at this, like, in the dream, we're at this like long cafeteria style table in a big like auditorium. Kind of looks like a big giant cafeteria, and people start to fill in, and then all of a sudden there are these like skits that start happening, and it's clear in the dream that the skits are from like supposed to be from one of the guy that's retiring, kind of a tribute to him, like from his early life.
Oh, right.
And so the skits, the accents of the people in the skits, initially I think it's like a Boston accent, and I'm like, I didn't know Dave was from Boston. And then it becomes clear that it's more of like a Canadian or sort of a and they're talking about, they're using all this slang and really weird, and it's clear that they're pretty irreverent. And I'm like, oh man, Dave was a lot cooler and a lot hipper and like a little more like, raunchy than I thought he would have been, in the stream. And so like I there's all these like crazy skits and stuff, and then I wake up from the dream and I realize that, as you all know, I fall asleep every night listening to the League on Hulu. But when the League series ends, it just automatically plays Letterkenny.
Alphabetical.
And so Letterkenny was playing while I was sleeping. And so all the skits that were happening in my dream were just episodes of Letterkenny playing out in strange ways.
Shut up.
As though they were.
Oh my god.
And I didn't realize. I finally wake up and realize, like, oh, I was just dreaming about. I was just like Letterkenny was playing as though there were skits in this like former mentor's life.
And then I started talking to Nate. I was like, dude, I think you invented something, like being able to program yourself to all of a sudden have dreams related to the
episode
in the universe of whatever you're
Yeah,
listening
I'm like,
to.
That's
Man.
pretty amazing.
Bro.
What do we got
Yeah.
going here?
I know. So
Nate's Nate's
It's only
falling
like
falling
54
asleep
years
to
in the
the
making,
yeah.
or however old he is.
Nate's gonna fall asleep to the pivotal scene in American Pie tonight. He's gonna be like, let's try and manifest this one.
See if we can make this happen. Anyway, that's my.
And you know what? I came out my pants.
So I'm going to see what happens when I put on Letterkenny season 10 now and fall asleep. See what kind of weird
Get some
skits
wacky
show up.
dreams.
So there you go. All right. Well, that's been the first draft episode of the season. Rob, thanks again for coming. Man.
Thanks a lot,
Thanks for
Rob,
having me.
man.
This was a lot
Really
of fun,
appreciate
This
it.
was fun.
And,
Rob, we really appreciate it.
We
This has been
appreciate you,
amazing.
brother.
yeah, so keep an eye out for all the cool stuff going on at American Zoetrope and with Francis Ford Coppola.
Godfather trilogy coming out next year.
Godfather trilogy, the remaster, the
And
4K.
just released not too long ago is The Outsiders, right?
Outsiders.
Yeah.
So keep an eye on all that great stuff. And Nick, you were pointing.
Well, was there anything else other than those releases? And then, I mean, we talked a little, but we got as much as we could about Megalopolis.
No, I
Anything
mean
else?
there's no. Those are the
What about
three.
you working? Any projects that you're working? You say you're working with, some projects on the side for yourself. Anything out there? Nothing, just in the works, kind of.
Yeah, there's some stuff developing with other films and stuff.
Okay.
Nothing I know about.
Well, we definitely appreciated great conversation, and thanks for I think getting pretty close to the correct ordering on the draft. I mean, you were close. It was like you might have just inverted the two numbers, but
For
That last place
for an
pick was
editor,
right on.
I'm not very impressed with the way that you edited that.
all right. So next week we are coming at you with something pretty different. Whose pick was it?
Mine.
And what are we going to do?
This is Nick. We're going Wedding Crashers.
Bang.
We're going comedy.
Shit. Right
We're
in line
going.
with The Godfather. We're moving right in.
Sandbagging
It's a
son of a
perfect transition.
The prequel to The Godfather.
Built for comfort, built for speed.
Well, what don't they call Will Ferrell's character The Godfather in Wedding Crashers? I'm pretty sure they do.
I think he's the
I think
godfather
of Wedding
Crashing.
Crashing. Yeah, exactly.
So Wedding Crashers and the
I
draft.
do funerals now.
Crazy horny. But the draft topic's going to be most memorable BFFs in a movie.
Movie friends.
Ooh,
Best movie friends.
best friends forever.
Best friends in a movie.
So what if they don't stay best friends forever, but just like
In the
Okay,
course
they
of
have
the,
to. I would say they have to end as best friends.
in the movie, right? They have
I'd
to.
say
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, in the movie
Yeah.
they got to end.
So
as best
Does
Would-
can it be more
would the
than just
stepbrothers
two
be best friends?
Could it be a crew?
Stepbrother,
I think we're saying
stepbrothers
A
or stepbrothers?
duo.
That's
stepbrothers would be BFFs, right? They're not related.
stepbrothers.
They're not stepbrothers, but they are. But that doesn't really count, does it?
We'll talk,
let's argue about that during the
draft.
All right. So
Go ahead and you take stepbrothers and get fourth place again.
So we've got we're going to be recording at Bosco's Cantina next week. We're going to
Damn
be
it.
Scotch. We're going to have Scotch back on as our guest judge, and so tune in for that if you're a Wedding Crashers fan. And hey, and tell your friends about the episode. Like us and follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. And make sure you show up and give us a 5-star review and tell us what you like about it on Apple Pods. I suppose you can do it on Spotify now too.
Spotify. You can throw some reviews.
So
some
give us some
rankings,
reviews
or some 5 stars.
Most of
something
all,
like
though,
that.
like share it around. It's text message a friend, say, hey, I listened to this great episode. It's really funny. It's a podcast you should check out. So do that right now. Open up your text message. Put that little new message in, and then think, which friend do I really need to tell about this?
Scotch Beck, he's so excited to be back.
All right. Thanks, Bev's Video
Thanks,
Kingdom.
Rob. Thanks, Rob.
Thanks, Rob. We will see you next week.
Bye bye.
I wanna be at Beverly's, bringing me home with my movies. Just a blind ride, no reason why. I love this scene. Nick Natek and Brad, your favorite podcast. Let's start